Of course, that was a few weeks ago when I was a Boy Scout.
Yeah, just a couple, maybe a year.
Sit there and think, Lord, that's been over
Now, the guy
50 years ago.
played guitar with us. I can't bring his name up right now. I talked to him a while ago. Played guitar.
Terry Guffey?
No, not Terry. The other guy. Played guitar with us for a long time. He did a lot of the woodwork there.
I am picturing him in my head.
I know.
I remember who it was.
Big sandy brown hair.
Yeah.
Well, I can't remember his name. What was his name?
He played a guitar like yours. Acoustic.
Played acoustic guitar with us. He's a nurse now.
We had an organist for a while. We had the guy that played the stump, or whatever that is you sit on.
Can you mention that story again?
No.
One about the snow?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I was delivering newspapers. Head to my last stop, and it was snowing. And for some reason, I thought I could drive a little fast. You know when you're a teenager, you kind of act a little crazy, a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I slid right into a fire hydrant, and it broke the fire hydrant, and the water went up underneath my hood and froze. It froze my engine. Should have never cut the engine off.
What year was that?
Lord, 72.
That's what I was going to guess 1972.
I one up you.
No, you did not.
I was on my way home from work in a blizzard on a road they should have closed. Okay? And the snow started pushing through my radiator. And, well, I don't know why the car didn't stop, but when I got home, I opened the hood.
Yeah.
The total engine area was completely packed with snow.
What?
All pushed through the radiator because I was going through like 36 inches of snow.
Oh no!
My goodness.
And the car where the radiator was in the middle of it.
That would be a great help.
So where were you in Snowmageddon?
Where was I? Home.
You were home?
Oh, no. The real one that came that Friday afternoon, I was in Roswell.
Oh, you
And
were?
I made it back
To Marietta?
home on back roads.
Really?
Yeah.
I left. We thought, oh, we'll meet just another half hour. I met in Kennesaw. We were living at Roswell at the time. It took me 11 and a half hours to get home.
Man.
Now the one that happened 3 or 4 years ago,
More again.
that was 6 hours, I think, to
Yeah.
get home on 41.
Mm.
And I got a call from Walk Through the Bible. They had a huge conference in Rome, and they had people trying to get somewhere. Do you know Chris Tigert?
Yeah.
Writes all the devotionals for Walk Through.
No.
I kept he and his wife and a lady from Huntsville. I went and picked them up over by my office. I took them to the house. They spent the night with us. And he sent me a really nice autographed devotional.
Oh, that's right.
You know, when I went on our hiking vacation, we do hiking vacation. We were going to Mount Katahdin, Maine, because that's the last part of the Appalachian Trail. So we've been in every single state on the Appalachian Trail that's been on it. We've hiked.
Actually hiking.
Yeah, actually hiking, yeah.
Driving, excuse me.
Yeah. So, well, from the bottom of the Mount Katahdin up to the top of Mount Katahdin is about 9.5 miles.
Whoa.
So,
That's a hike.
yeah, I mean, it's huge. It's the second highest mountain east of the Mississippi.
Really?
Yeah. The highest mountain is Mount Mitchell, and we hiked up
Where's
on
Mount Mitchell?
in North Carolina.
Oh, it is?
And we did that on our vacation too. But
Can you make it up to the crest or whatever you call it?
we did it at Mount Mitchell, but we didn't do it at Mount Katahdin
How
because
high is that? Like 12, 14,000 feet or something?
Something like that. It's way up there. In fact, when we were driving up Mount Mitchell, it was raining, and we drove up through the clouds while it was raining, and we drove up over on top of the clouds, looking down at the clouds raining. Now I was scared driving through the clouds when it was raining, because I'm like, honey, what if it lightning strikes us? Man, this might not be a wise idea. I'm like praying, and we made it through. But this year, just a couple months ago, but at Mount Katahdin, and this was in May, middle of May. We were driving up, and we're going to drive up and get out, and you can hike 3.5 miles to the top.
Yeah.
And so we do the last 3.5 miles of the Appalachian Trail. Well, we're driving up the mountain, and while we're driving up the mountain, there's this park ranger closing a gate on the road, and I'm like, I pull up and I jump out, and I'm like, hey, what's the deal? And he says, I've come here early. We're not going to open up until Memorial Day. And he says, and I said, what do you mean? I'm trying to go up to the top of the mountain. He says, you can't hike up to the top of the mountain. It's 6 foot of snow up there.
What? And where? Is it May?
Maine in May, yeah.
6 foot of snow.
In the middle of May. This is about the 14th of May.
Wow.
And he goes, it's just starting to melt, when we went through Vermont.
High enough, it's never melting.
Yeah, and so it must be way up in Maine. And I said, listen, sir. I said, you got to help me out here. We drove all the way up here to Mount Katahdin to hike on this mountain from Georgia. He goes, well, if you go down about 2.5 miles, there'll be a dirt road to the right. Turn that dirt road, and it'll go down to the bottom, toward the bottom of the mountain, and you can run across Appalachian Trail. There'll be some signs, and it'll be about 70 degrees over there.
Oh, wow.
So at 70 degrees at the bottom of the mountain, there's 6 foot of snow at the top of the mountain. So we went over there, we saw it, and we hiked 6.2 miles up the mountain.
Wow.
And then back down the mountain, and somehow my thing only registered 12.1 miles. So I never figured that one out. 6.2 up and only 5.8 or whatever back. So anyway,
Oh my God, you
5.9.
You were translated.
But we did take one wrong turn in one place, so that might have been what threw us off. Yeah, that's the farthest I've ever hiked. 12.1 miles.
Wow.
In one day.
That's pretty good.
I did a 10-mile in the army.
And the reason we hiked 6.2 up the mountain is my wife.
You didn't do the 10K? Is that?
My wife has done 2 12-mile hikes.
Oh, I've done that.
And in fact, my son Peyton did the Peachtree race. Yeah, him and his father-in-law, who's done about 40 of them.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, you want some almonds? Yeah, you gotta have those. Can't. My urologist says you can't do almonds.
They make the great salads.
Oxalates in it. And it causes kidney. They can cause kidney. Well, they're prone to it.
Order me one of those egg white grilled chicken biscuits every morning. And so I got that this morning.
The McDonald's one?
No, here.
Chick-fil-A.
And
Oh yeah, that's right.
and then usually I'll eat what's left over. I don't eat any of the chicken bits. I want to make sure everybody gets it.
Yeah.
A lot of times everybody gets them.
I had a couple today.
Yeah.
Good.
And every now and then I'll get, there'll be biscuits left over, and I'll get some jam out and make me a couple of jam biscuits. But I'm trying to lose weight, so I don't need to do that.
What time did you make it up here?
Is that your regular shot or you have to do
7 o'clock.
meal?
5 a day.
5 a day?
Meal.
Yeah.
And, I'm sorry. That's 5. and my thing sticking me got screwed up. I'm waiting for one to come over.
Oh wow.
So I have to get out my old
Read all your old school stuff.
I do every meal that one when I wake up in the morning.
And you have to count carbs or sugar for each meal.
I put it into a
Thing and say how much.
So you got sugar diabetes?
how much this is.
You got sugar?
Type 2. Insulin dependent.
Well, I'm gonna start adding you to the prayer list. And I thank God every morning that my daughter-in-law cured of.
Oh man.
She's got type 2 diabetes too.
Here's my problem. They took out most of my pancreas in 2015. So, for me to be
You want to put that bill on tight? You don't want that on the car.
I got it. Oh, I drank it all already.
Well, supposed to, well, would.
Yeah.
I had
Well,
an inch and a quarter tumor.
You drank that whole thing, did you? Uh-huh.
Yeah.
It was benign, but they had to get it out. Thank God.
And they went in laparoscopic.
so we've both been cured of cancer. All three of us. We all
Yeah.
three have been cured of cancer right
I
here.
was curious
Yeah,
in the kitchen of the Methodist church where we were in the. Remember when we were in that area with the fireplace and everything where Will got in trouble?
Yeah,
For
yeah.
saying to a kid who prayed for it and a school threw us out. Art Druckenmiller, Ron Bolt,
Yeah.
and I went in the kitchen. I'd been having prostate problems, and I prayed for him. I went and got a biopsy.
Awesome.
Now I do have a very large, my whatever you, that test
PSA.
PSA, PCS.
PSA.
stays in the
I don't know.
mid-5.
Yeah.
And it's always there. That's the diagnosis.
You know,
There's
mine's
always guys that went through chemo and everything was right. Oh, I got a 0 PSA.
Yeah.
Mine's 5.
mine's under 1, so it's like 0.5.
Yeah. I've
Praise
had
God.
2 TERP operations because it was benign. It was always been benign.
I'm
Man.
blessed. Worst night I get up once. Normally I sleep through.
You know that when I was the sickest, when I in the middle of the COVID, and I had like bladder stones or something like that, I went up 8 to 13 times.
Man.
45 minutes.
Bless your heart, man. I go up every night, one night.
Yeah, I go once or twice a night now.
Yeah. You know, when I had my 5 bypass surgery, you know, I went in to have some stents put in in Gwinnett County. Next thing I know, they're throwing me in an ambulance, taking me down to St. Joseph, saying you're going to have 5 bypass surgeries. We don't even know how you're living. Your widowmaker is 93% blocked.
Whoa.
And
now you're on hiking.
yeah. And so they're getting ready to take me in to put me under. I said, wait a second. Honey, give me my cell phone. I got my cell phone. I called Ryan Bolt. I said, Ryan, I want you to pray for me while I go under. The nurse says, and I said, Doctor, I want this man praying for me while I go under. I'm going to have 5 bypass surgery. I want Ryan Bolt praying for me.
Yeah.
And so they start to put me to sleep, and Ryan starts praying in tongues. That's the last I remember. He was praying in tongues, and I woke up.
That's
in
pretty
heaven.
amazing, huh, Chester?
I woke up in heaven.
Yes, sir.
I woke up in heaven.
Wow.
They said I was dead a little over 2 hours, and they were afraid they weren't going to revive me.
What? You were dead for 2 hours?
I was dead over 2 hours.
What?
And they put me in a induced coma.
Yeah.
I slept for a day and a half, but you know, I guess while I was dead for 2 hours, I opened up my eyes in heaven. I seen these orbs going around. It's only like I was there 10 seconds, and I told that to the nurses and stuff when I woke up. They thought I was crazy. But anyway, I woke up with that thing down my throat. And Ryan's prayer worked so good that they said, you're going to probably be here 2 weeks before you get to go home. Well, I was up walking around, you know, and the 6th day, doctor come there and says, there's no reason to keep you anymore. He said, it's amazing. It's amazing.
Not great.
Yeah. And so Terry Guffey was up there. He was my office manager at the time. So he was up there in the hospital. And I said, he said, well, we'll get you to go home. I guess you can call your wife. Terry goes, I'll take him home.
That's awesome.
And Terry goes, can he work? And the doctor says he can work an hour or 2 every day.
Yeah.
But you don't need to go out on new sales calls,
Yeah.
Frank and Terry. And so on the way home, Terry goes, this guy wants you to drop by and write this $35,000 contract up.
Oh my gosh.
And I said, where's it at?
We gotta go.
Decatur. And I said, let's go.
Oh my gosh.
Did you know what Ryan was going to speak on today? I wish I'd heard that 2 years ago.
Really?
Because that's when everything was flying.
Oh yeah.
He said this, but
Oh yeah. All the
Marilla said this.
Yeah.
Election's going to be guaranteed reversed in February.
Yeah.
All right, guys.
You had a way of.
Oh, bye. Thank you for hanging out with us.
See y'all next
Hey,
Wednesday.
Frankie. Hey, Frank.
Yes.
Don't forget to check out my YouTube channel.
I'll do it. Chester Thrash. I know Chester's name.
Yeah.
Everybody knows Chester's name.
Yeah.
He's famous in this area.
Yeah. Yeah, tell me like come back and see your place out there one day.
It's a blessing having you with us, buddy.
Thank you, buddy.
All right, we got to take off.
Good, good.
All right.
Love you, buddy.
Love you too.
It didn't, or it could have ended in loss, and we missed it. But, you know, we just got used to this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know what he was going to speak about. I would have postponed it probably, but it's a good thing. Fan the flames, and he's putting on the brakes. It's like, we can handle this. We're brothers here, we can handle this.
All right.
All right, so,
Yeah,
so you guys.
You got a kid,